Hello, folks. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. South Africa's Competition Commission has approved a transaction in which International Container Terminal Services Incorporated, ICSI, that's a mouthful, will expand, upgrade, and operate the Durban Container Terminal Pier 2. Well, that sounds like great news for South Africa and its neighbors. After all, the Durban port is critical to the economy of much of Southern Africa. But of course, this contract award was contingent on two things that go hand in hand together in corrupt South Africa. Now, the first is a requirement to form a local company. And this is a protectionist measure. At least in most countries that would levy such a requirement, it would be a protectionist measure. But in reality, it's less protectionist and more about racist patronage than anything else.
Welcome back once again. This is Chris Report, and he assured me that since I'm in town in Boulders, folks, this is Chris Wyatt reporting from South Africa.
ICSI was last year awarded a 25-year contract to partner with Transnet through participation in the equity and funding of a newly established company which will be responsible for the expansion and upgrading of Africa's largest container terminal. So you've got to form a company in South Africa and then ensure that you have enough historically disadvantaged folks whom you dole out equity and money to in order to operate in South Africa. Okay, got it. Okay, maybe that's why Starlink isn't there. Now, never mind that Transnet's ports are the worst and least efficient in the world. If you don't believe me, go look it up. Screw South Africans and screw the economy. We gots to get our cut. You see, Tian, it's our turn to eat. Go back to Europe, Mumbai, or to the Karoo. Ouch. Wow. I've actually read comments like that. Now, the new company has made commitments towards an employee incentive scheme and will attain a level 4 BBBEE contributor status within 1 year of Transnet being granted BBBEE facilitator status. It's this word salad stuff. Sounds like Kamala Harris wrote these laws.
Yeah.
In addition, the merger parties have made a procurement commitment from level 1 BBBEE and black women-owned firms for a period of 3 years from the merger implementation date. What does all this mean for South Africans? Well, for starters, Meneer Palapala's bogus announcement in New York a few weeks ago that South Africa is open for business is utter nonsense. It's only open for business if you enrich the caters and entrench systemic racism directed against a small minority population. By the way, folks, International Container Terminal Services Incorporated is a Philippines-listed company based in Manila, led by Filipino-Spanish businessman Enrique Razon. It's at this point where one can be forgiven for being confused. I mean, after all, are not Filipinos historically disadvantaged, having been colonized by Spain and Japan? Aren't Filipinos people of color? I mean, if the Chinese don't have to dole out equity to BEE companies, why do the Filipinos have to do so? This should be good news for South Africa, but it's not. It's just more entrenchment and enrichment of caters and more corruption disguised as business. And this is what's holding South Africa back. Well, that and abysmal education standards promulgated by Minister 30% Angela Cheka and the ANC, where you get 30%, 30%, 30% in 3 subjects and 40% in your first language, and you're considered to be good enough to apply to go to university. Yeah. Collapsing infrastructure, failed electricity, very dangerous place to work and live, and racist legislation meant to punish people who had nothing to do with the current situation. You see, the ANC's led South Africa for 30 years, and the majority of South Africans were born after the ANC took control. So all of the structures in place, the Constitution, the laws of the land, the Justice Department, the policing service are all products of the ANC and their creation. So historically disadvantaged goes out the window at some point. Probably should have gone out the window about 20 years ago. What say you, folks? Good news or bad news? Just more corruption in my view. Cheers.